course I know motherfuckers want to kill me.
Hey, y'all, man, they done shot FBG Duck in the Gold Coast of Chicago, bro.
Of course I know underscore want to kill me. Hey, y'all, man. They didn't SHOTFBG Duck in the Gold Coast of Chicago, bro. FBG. Duck's murder was one of the most brazen drill it's ever caught on camera, and now it's heating up all over again. The feds are officially connecting Lil Durk to the case. In this video, we're breaking down how Durk Green lit the Hithot, took out FBG Duck, and how a rap beef turned into a full-blown federal murder investigation. Let's get into it. Breaking down what really happened now for. We get into the nitty-gritty. Lem set the scene for those who might not be hip to Chicago's drill politics. We're talking about two of the most influential figures in the cheese street trap game. Lil Durk, who runs with Oblicon, the Black Disciples, and FBG Duck Hoas, repping Tuckville and the Gangster Disciples. These weren't just rappers beefing over bars and beats, nah. Fam, this was some deep-rooted gang politics that had been brewing for over a decade. History that's been unfolding through court, documents, civil lawsuits, and federal investigations paints a picture all thoughts more sinister than anything Hollywood could cook up. We're talking about alleged bounties, coordinated hit zone to conspiracy that reaches all the way to the top of.
Hey, y'all, man, they done shot FBG Duck in the Gold Coast of Chicago, bro. In the Gold Coast of Chicago, bro.
But F only the Family Durk's collective that prosecutors are calling a criminal enterprise. August 4th, 2020. That's the date that changed everything in Chicago's drill scene forever. FBG Duck, real name Carlton, Weekly.
Our complainant law lays out that a $100,000 bounty was placed on the life of FBG Duck to have him killed.
Was out in the Gold Coast doing some shopping. For his son's birthday, when everything went left, Duck was gunned down outside a Dolce & Gabbana store in broad daylight, taking 16 shots, the body while his girlfriend Cache Williams and another Bastanda got caught up in the crossfire. Hey, y'all, man. They didn't shot FBG Duck in the Gold Coast of Chicago, bro. In the Gold Coast of Chicago. Bro, but here's where it got really wild. This wasn't some random street beef gone wrong, according to the massive lawsuit filed by Duck's mother, Lucia Weekly. This hit was allegedly loaded from the top, with King Von placing a $100 zero bounty on Duck's head and Lil Durk allegedly pulling the strings as the puppet master behind OT4. Complaint at law lays out that a $100,000 bounty was placed on the life of FBG Duck to have him killed. The feds aren't playing games either. 6 Black members got convicted in January 2024 for Duck's murder. Charles Liggins, Kenneth Robertson, Christopher Thomas, Marcus Smart to Carlos Offord and Ralph Kerpin. These weren't just random shooters either. These were Durk's people, his soldiers allegedly carrying out orders that came from the very top of the hierarchy. Now, when folks talk about Durk killing Duck on camera, they're not necessarily talking about some smoking yoon video footage of Durk pulling Thediger himself. Nah, it's deeper than thought. They're referring to the anti-road digital trail of evidence that prosecutors have been building. Social media posts, music videos, lyrics, and phone records that allegedly show how this whole conspiracy was planned, executed, and then celebrated. Remember King Vance took her to the video that joint dropped months before Duck got murked, and it literally shows Vance's character killing someone named Duck. Thelisuit calls this part of a campaign of intimidation that was designed to terrorize Duck before they actually took him out. With 350 million views on YouTube, that video wasn't just entertainment. According to prosecutors, it was a threat. The streets been knew about the bad blood between Obluck and Dukaville. But what makes this case so crazy is how Durk allegedly used his platform and his money to turn street beef into a corporate level conspiracy. We're talking about record labels like Sony, Universal, Alamo, and Imperial allegedly getting caught up in this mess, accused of profiting off real street violence while turning a blind eye to consequences. But here's where it gets even crazier. Ralph Turpin, one of the convicted shooters, was allegedly in contact with a phone number linked to Durk's brother Dang right around that time Duck got located and killed. This wasn't some spontaneous street encounter. This was allegedly a coordinated operation with communication going all the way back to the F. Leadership.
2 vehicles pulled up, 4 Individuals exited those vehicles, 2 from each vehicle, and began firing at the individuals that were on the sidewalk outside of one of the stores here.
Chip Theft Street's been talking about this for years, but now the courts are finally catching up to what the who'd already knew FBG. At the highest levels of one of hip-hop's most successful collectives, let me break down the level of disrespect that Duck was showing before his death beckles. This context is crucial tounder, standing why things escalated the way they did when Duck dropped dead _ he wasn't just rapping, he was essentially walking through at Oblek's graveyard and spitting on every headstone. The track mentions specific dacious members of Oblak, making fun OFO they died and questioning their street credibility, even in death in Chicago's drill culture. That's the ultimate violation, and according to prosecutors, it's what put the target in Duck's back. The sophistication of this alleged conspiracy is what separates it from your typical street beat. We're not talking about some hot-headed young and catching feelings and reacting emotionally. The lawsuit alleges Thathus was a calculated business decision with F leadership weighing the costs and benefits of taking out one of their biggest rivals. The profit motive allegedly made murder not just personal but profitable. Think about the level of coordination this required. You had to have people watching Duck's movements seem with the authority to greenlight a hit in broad daylight in one of Chicago's most upscale neighborhood shoots, willing to risk life, send in size in a whole organization ready to profit off the aftermath. That's not street-level thinking, that's corporate-level criminal enterprise to vehicles pull it up for R. Individuals exited those vehicles, 2 from each vehicle, and began firing at the individuals that were on sidewalk outside of one of Theft stores. Here the social media aspect off this case shows how modern criminal conspiracies play out in the digital very Instagram post, every Twitter interaction, every YouTube video becomes evidence in building a RICO case. These some platforms that these artists Usedo build their fame are now being Usedo document their alleged crimes. The evidence keeps stacking up like building blocks, and each piece points back to operating as more than just a music collective according to the lawsuit. Usedo's functioning as a criminal enterprising music industry resources to fund and coordinate street violence while profiting off the chaos they create, makes this story even more tragic. That Duck was allegedly trying Tomov different before he got killed. His 2019 track Chicago Legends showed respect, 2 Phalanth members, and some saw it as him trying to extend an olive branch, but the streets don't forget indapperently. Neither did the Auto Government isn't playing when it comes to this case, either. The word profit appears 102 times in the 229-page lawsuit, showing how prosecutors believe this wassel about money and clout every stream off a diss track, every view of a music video, every social media post celebrating Duck's death. It allegedly translated $2 in pockets. This isn't just about twerpers beefing anymore. This is a bootho. The music industry allegedly turned street violence into a profitable boosiness, modeled with record labels funding artists who they knew were involved in real criminal activity. Best controversy sells and authenticity pays. However, it gets even deeper, as we are about to find out following the paper trail and digital footprints. Now that we've laid the foundation of what went down, let's dive into the evidence that's got prosecutors building a RICO case that could change everything we know about drill rap and street politics. This ain't just speculation from the barber shop anymore. We're talking about federal investigations, wiretaps, and a digital paper trail that allegedly connects Lil Durk to one of the most brazen hits in Chicago history. To see this happen in the middle of the day is very, very disturbing. The feds didn't just stumble onto this case by accident. They've been building this conspiracy brick by brick, and every piece of evidence tells a story about how allegedly operated as a criminal organization disguised as a record label. We're talking about a level of organization and planning that goes way beyond your typical street beat. Des individuals murdered Mr. Weekly as part of their effort to maintain or increase their position in the Black. Let's start with the music, because in drill rap, Thebers don't.
The threatening, the killing, and then the celebration of the killing and the continued killing, all on the name of profit.
Lie Durks 2021 track Should Have Ducked wasn't just a diss track according to prosecutors. It was a victory lap when Durk rapped She a Scad. How high do I get, I told her. High as Duck. He wasn't just making wordplay, the lawsuit alleges. This was Durk literally profiting off Duck's death, turning the murder into marketing material, but it goes deeper than just Stone Song Durk's. 2024 track Monitoring, mine includes the line,
I'll got to pay nobody to do nothing.